guys, on this first craft, I'm showing you what it looked like before, because when I started this craft, I didn't realize it wasn't recording. So I'm upcycling this from last year. It was just plain with that little hello fall already painted in the center and just raw wood, which was cute. But I decided I wanted to go through and paint it more like fall. So that's where we're at now. I am speeding it up because, watching someone paint is not that exciting. And so I thought so much of this is going to be sped up that I wanted to just do a voiceover. So I'm going to be doing a few different things on this particular one. Once I get it painted, I'm also going to cover up where it says Hello Fall. You'll see me do a few little additions just to give it a little bit of a different look. So right here, I wasn't sure if I was going to leave that open or not. So I did want to go ahead and just make it look a little cohesive and paint the entire thing with that burgundy. At the end, you'll see that I did opt to change that up just a little bit. But until I made that choice, I didn't want it to just be raw since everything else was painted. Okay, so right here, you're going to see that I covered that Hello Fall. I had some ribbon that I actually used there, but the leaves were so similar to what was on this that I thought it was perfect. And then I'm going to cover those raw edges of the ribbon with some burlap. You could have left the little Hello Fall there. It was cute. It was just, I was trying to change it up, so I decided to go a different route. I do end up using that little metal stake that had the give thanks on the pumpkin. That's what I end up using there. I thought it was really cute because at the base of it, I had these little pumpkins that I decided to use. Now, though, they were just a little bit too wide to sit on the edge there. So all I did was I cut off maybe a third of it, just cut it straight, and then painted the back of the pumpkin with a little bit of orange just in case it wasn't sitting flush. There would still be orange showing. But I just ended up gluing those. And then before I cut it, I took out the little where it looked like it was the pumpkin was cut off the vine. I took that out so that I could get a clean cut. But once I got them glued back on, I just popped those little things right back in, and it ended up working out really well. All of those things came from the Dollar Tree, and the little pumpkins were, like I said, kind of a foamy texture, so it was very easy to take a knife and just slice right through them. So that's cute like it is, but I did decide I wanted something on the back. I didn't really have any scrapbook paper or wallpaper, anything like that I thought would be cute, but I had lots of fabric. So I thought this dark green looked good with all the other colors. So I just cut, just a little piece of it to go right there on the back. And once I flip it around, I think you'll agree that it really made it look cute. Gave it a totally different look from what it was last year. And then the next craft was a Christmas ornament. Last year, I don't know if you remember the video, but I used a Dollar Tree stocking, a little burgundy velvet stocking, and made a gnome. And so I still had pieces of that stocking left over. So I just cut this circle out right here. And then I had leftover yarn, that big thick yarn there. So I decided to edge it in that so that when it was gathered up, it would almost look like Santa sack or something like that, like a nice edging. And so I just glued it with hot glue all the way around. I didn't, on something like this, you don't have to sew it on or anything like that. So once I got that done, I did grab a needle and thread to gather it at the top. And I gathered very close to the edge. In this case, if you've never used a needle and thread, it's nothing to be intimidated by because you don't want small stitches. You want them to be big and loose so that when you pull it at the end, it's going to gather that up for you so that it makes a little pouch or a little pillow. Almost looks like a pillow. And speaking of pillow, you're going to want to stuff it with something. Now, don't go out and buy stuffing just for this one little thing. You could use anything in it. You could use a paper wad if you had nothing else. You can also use cotton balls to keep it soft. Just literally anything, extra fabric, whatever you have, and just tuck it right down inside. One thing I noticed was when I was going to be putting things inside that little pouch, I was going to be seeing the raw edges or the back side of that velvet. So I cut another strip of the velvet and I glued it most of the way around. I wasn't worried about the bottom, just the part that was going to show like behind where the dog was going to be, for example. The bottom is not going to matter, so I didn't have to glue all the way around. I just needed to cover that one area. So once I glued it and then folded it over, I had the pretty side of the velvet again. So once you get that made, it's really up to you and what you like at that point. Like I put the little dog in, of course, but then I tucked in some greenery in behind him. I had the fake pine as well as the cedar. So I was just tucking in, and that green looks really good with the burgundy and the cream. And then I also had the dark red berries. They also look cute with it. And that is a strand of pearls from previous crafts that was left over. And I ran it all the way around the top of the bag. Now, it's not going to be hugely visible, because it is kind of tucked up under there. But depending on where this is hanging on the tree, you might get a glimpse of it. So I like to put those details on as well. And then I cut small pieces of the pearls and I use them as accents around, which you'll see there. And it's cute if you stop there. But then I remembered I had some little candy canes there that I wanted to tuck a couple in. And I also had, out of the same look as the pearls, I had snowflakes. And so I went ahead and grabbed those. Now, you'll also notice up at the top of the little dog's head where the hole was for the keychain, that is what I used to run a wire through to make the hanger. So, and I also use one of the little snowflakes to kind of cover the hanger at the end as well. So you can go as light-handed or as many little accents on this as you want. If you're doing it with kids, they might even want to put just a little bit of their school glue on it and drop some glitter on it. Or if you have Mod Podge, that would also work well. So there he is, completed. Now the next thing we're going to be working on is something that I got at Walmart on clearance for like $2. And it was because the letter E was broken. For $2, you're not going to be able to buy that little box, much less the greenery that was already tucked inside. So I grabbed that and I used like tongue depressors. I cut two pieces and glued them together to make them the same thickness as the letters, and I just added the top up there. And if the seam bothers you, what you could do is just fold over a piece of that greenery and glue it against the seam. It wasn't anything that bothered me after I got it painted, but that's just something to keep in mind if it bothers you. Or put a little bow there or something like that, just to cover it. But I wanted the letters to pop, so I did go ahead and use the burgundy on the letters. Now, I did notice on the raw wood, it was a different shade of burgundy coming through, so I painted it black and rubbed the black off to where it was kind of a gray. And then I painted it, and it blended much, much, much better.